I hope you can see me and hear me because I want to do a book review. So, hello. Good morning. It is August 7th, 2025, and I want to discuss this book right here. So, I read this, I finished this, I want to say I completed it the yesterday or day before yesterday. I updated my story graph and everything, but we're gonna be discussing Nervous by Zane. This book. I would say for me, I would probably rate this like a 3 or a 4. I shouldn't have read it, honestly. Like, I checked on Storygraph and what is it called? You know how, like, I don't know if you have Storygraph, but if you have Storygraph, they have like triggers and things that you can say you don't want to read in your books. And for me, one of those things were child assault and everything. And I don't know why, but like it said it was minor, so I said I'd give it a try. And some of like the themes for this book, based off Storygraph, I'm gonna tell you right now. Just give me a quick second, and I will let you know. I need to remember to keep track of my reads because I be forgetting. So, and this is new. So, anyway, the content warnings. This book, it deals with mental illness, sexual content, cursing, addiction, bullying, emotional abuse, incest, pedophilia, adult minor relationships. So if that or any of that bothers you, I would suggest to go watch a different book review or to, watch something else more lighthearted. I don't know how much of it I'm going to spoil. I'm trying to decide how I want to do these, so bear with me as we figure this out together. But the book, obviously I finished it, so it kept my attention. But like the characters, I think I enjoyed the premise of the book. I think for me, I just the best way I could put it is this book feels like horror for me. I know that sounds very like sensitive and like ridiculous and all of that good stuff, but for me this might as well have been body horror, because this book to me is when your ops live in your body. Like, it is the best way I can put it. So our main character, Quinnett, I hope I'm saying her name right. John Quinnett is the main character in this book. She is I want to say late 20s black woman. She's an accountant, and she lives like a really simple life. She goes to work, she comes home, but she has a lot of anxiety. She's nervous. She can't really talk to men. Like, talking to men is like a no for her, right? But she does work for a guy, so I'm assuming that she just kind of does what he wants so she doesn't have to talk to him often. That part wasn't really addressed, how that dynamic works, because she struggles to talk to men in general. I don't want to spoil the book, because what if you want to read it? The book was written in 2003, so I'm sure it was just like our understanding of like split personalities at the time. But I hated the split, okay? The split personality, the split's name is Jude, and we're gonna just call John Quinnett John, because it'll just be easier, and that's mostly what they call her in the book on occasion. So John and Jude. John is our main character, we'll say like the main personality, right? She is a sweet person, and she does not deserve all the stuff that her split is doing to her, okay? So, oh man, her split Jude. I started calling her like midway through the book the childish brain cell, because like she's literally just if your brain cell went rogue, and I hated her. And I understood that like she was supposed to be there to protect her and all of that good stuff, but like the stuff she did was like crazy. Like, so she decides that because John is boring, she wants to have more fun. So she just sleeps with like random men. And when I say random, I mean random. Okay? Like, I mean real random. Like, it wasn't giving empowerment. It wasn't giving any of that. It was just like, girl, I get it. You're not okay. Like, it's very clear you are not okay. But like, I'm probably gonna just say there's probably gonna be some spoilers. I'm gonna try my best, but it's probably gonna be some spoilers. So, one of the first things that Jude does that we see her do is like screw a man in an alley after John declines going out with her coworker to this concert at a club, and Jude, the childless brain cell, is like, I can't believe her. She's so boring. No, right? So she goes, and she can't get in because she doesn't have the woman's number, any of that. And she ends up screwing this guy in the alley. One of the first things she did was when John was like 19 and in college, she like screwed a random guy on their college campus and then just disappeared. She doesn't tell the men her names. And like, to some degree, I guess that's her trying to protect John from any backlash of it, but she consistently gets unhinged. And when John tries to seek help, she gets worse. And she punishes her by sleeping with men and doing things that are going to be an embarrassment and make John feel bad. And that is about when I stop feeling like this altar is meant to protect her. I truly just like struggled with that concept for most of the book, because like she kept punishing her for trying to get rid of her, but John isn't even aware of her. All she knows is she has blackouts, she can't remember things, and people tell her she did these things that she would never do, and like it's just a hot mess, right? And so then you get a couple of like back flashes of like John's life and like different blackouts, and you get to see Jude's perspective and what's happening. Pretty much you find out that Jude, the childless brain cell. So Jude pretty much is like, okay, I am tired of people trying to get rid of me. And when she was in high school, her dad was like, we're gonna get her help, this is bad, she needs help. Jude didn't like that, so she pretty much caused her parents to get a divorce by hiring a prostitute to show up on Thanksgiving and say that she was messing with her father. And it's just like really bad. Her parents get a divorce. Her mom is a little self-centered and you dislike her a little bit, but overall her parents are like decent people, right? And like she's mostly only had like bullies. Like the first time Jude appears, as far as like it seems, is when John is in second grade and she has bullies. And Jude she handled them bullies, like hospital handled them. They not gonna be bullying her no more. So you kind of see why, you see like Jude is a protector in that instance, but it's like as time went on, it felt less like a protector and more like her living bully, because she is consistently doing things reckless and all of that. And at some point you forget that this personality is in John, and like it's happening to her, and sometimes the split refers to John as if like it's a person she's doing this thing to. This book just had me on a roller coaster ride, okay? And not the Hawaiian one. So, pretty much, after all that, right? That was kind of funny. After all of that, you're getting to know these characters. Like, you feel bad because you realize her father has been trying to get her help and has reached out to her. You kind of sympathize with him. You empathize with him. The mom, you feel bad for because, like, she clearly loves her daughter, but just mostly has her own way of viewing the world. And then, like, John ends up meeting her neighbor who kind of, like, busts the whole thing wide open just by existing, because he really likes her, but she can't get close to him, and Jude does not want her close to him, but she starts getting close to him. And so to punish her, she ends up screwing John's co-worker's long-term boyfriend at a wedding that the co-worker invited her to, which is a mess. But they don't get caught, and she's like, I won't tell if you won't tell, whatever. And somehow all these men keep screwing her. She's done the men in the mattress store. She's done orgies, and like, it's just like really bad. And there's a psychiatrist who is trying to help her and like talk to her and work with her. And like, the psychiatrist pretty much is like, I'm here, you call me whenever and whatnot. Eventually Jude comes out to like cuss the psychiatrist out, and she's like, you don't run things. And she's like, I'm gonna take over her body, this is my body, fuck her. She wanted to be boring, she's gonna be boring, and I'm gonna live the life I want to live. She's like, you can't do that, because if you could, you would just do it. So then she decides that she's going to go and be a stripper. She's a stripper for a day, and then she finally exchanges money for pussy. Mind you, she don't never do no condoms, okay? She don't never use no condoms. Ain't nobody out here afraid of no STDs or nothing. She just out here with all the men. Mind you, this is her body. And I'm like, this woman, as far as she knows, she's a virgin. She knows she's not a virgin because medically speaking and physically speaking, her doctor has told her as much, right? But she doesn't understand how that's possible because she can't even talk to men. So I'm just like, to me, you know how like it's like Jennifer's body, this is the op inside my body. Like, this is the person who hates you the most, like your biggest hater. And so I'm not seeing the like protection. Like, I'm like, no, this is not giving protection. This is like giving you hate me. Like, why would you keep doing this to me? I'm waking up at home in clothes I don't even know I own. She be spending her money, and like, I get it, it's the same person. It's just, it's so damn complex, okay? So either way, John is like determined to get help because she's in love with this guy, and Jude gets sick of it, so she pretty much blows John's life up. She's like, I screwed your friend, I'm a whore, I don't want to be with you. And so the neighbor guy is like, no, there isn't no way. Obviously there was a way. The coworker comes, punches her in the face. Oh, Jude ain't show up to keep her from getting punched in the face because she want to show her a lesson, which is like, how are you, my protector, always trying to teach me a lesson that I don't even know is happening? I felt so bad for her. Like, I felt so bad for her. Like, she did not deserve this. Like, she did not deserve any of it. And so she tells the guy, look, I got a split personality, and she wants to take over my life, and I don't know why, and I can't control it. So the psychiatrist tries to be helpful, and she goes to the psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist suggests that they have like a meeting with both her parents, because it'll help her figure out why and when she created these altars, right? So everybody is speculating. Like, I speculated that something was off, and something in her past, she probably was like molested or something, but we don't hear about it, right? I will say it was set up for that, but I wasn't happy about it when it came up personally. Like, the character, I feel like she made me empathize with the character too much, and so I just felt gutted, which I guess is the point. I felt gutted. So John goes to a therapy session with her parents. She goes and she rekindles her relationship with her father because she hasn't talked to him in almost 10 years because, well, her mom was like, you slept with a prostitute and got her pregnant and then brought them to my house. So like, no, they didn't talk to him ever again. He moves to his old hometown and works in his dad's mechanic shop or whatever. John mentioned she never met her grandfather. She doesn't know anything about him, but like, they never visited. She ain't know why. Anyway, she has a little sister named Flower that the dad has with a woman that he met in town. And like, they go to the therapy session, and Jude hates this man. You don't know why she hates this man, but she hates this man, right? And when they're in the therapy session, the dad has taken to calling Jude a wench. I call her the childless brain cell. He's calling her a wench. I get it. Like, if you read this book and you see all the stuff that Jude does, she definitely is giving villain of the story. Like, she is the villain of this story for real, okay? and is ruining John's life while also saying she's like just trying to preserve herself and keep John safe. And she doesn't trust men, clearly. She thinks they're all trash and like pretty much they easy, right? They real easy. And I just like, oh, I hated Jude so much. Like, I hated her so much. And I love John so much, and I just wanted her to be okay. The psychiatrist, I like the psychiatrist. But like there was only like one point where I was just like, girl, what is the vision? I don't see the vision. And then I kind of saw it like later. But like at first I was like, girl, why would you tell her to date and stuff? What is happening? But I realized psychiatrist was trying to like sort it all out, figure out who these personalities were, all that good stuff, right? When they're in that office, you find out not only does John have more than one other personality, there's at least 3 of them. And the third one is the one who be like running stuff for real and keeps her safe for the most part, but just kind of lets her and the other personality like do whatever. But she comes out and it's like, who are you and whatnot, and she's like, she don't got a name, and she's like, I need to name you or whatever so we know who we're talking to. And she's like, cool, you can call me Jetta or whatever. I'm like, what? Like, okay, I'm so sorry if these are spoilers for you, but I was really passionate about how much I hated the split. I was just like, what in the world? So the split, which I thought was like interesting, it made me wonder about how many she might have had, because that split comes out. And the reason why that split comes out is because he pretty much, the dad, while they're in the family therapy session, this is like their second one, and they're in the family therapy session, he's about to get back with her mom. He says he loves her mom or whatever, and she finds out that she wasn't present when she was babysitting her little sister, and they were worried because like Jude is crazy, okay? She broke a glass bottle in the grocery store and threatened a woman and her kid. Like, Jude say she gonna do something, she gonna do it, you know what I mean? So it just was a hot mess, right? The spice was nice, but there were moments where I was just like, that's too much for me, because like, why is we here? But most of the time I was like, you know what I mean? So pretty much after all of that, you have this whole thing about she stabbed him when she was like a teenager or something, and he was like, he wanted to get her help after that. She was coming in talking crazy, and he just needed her to get help. And that's when the third altar comes and it's like, nope, it wasn't Jude, because Jude like panics because she's like, I didn't do it. Like, if I did it, I would tell you. Like, the things I do, I like fess up to, and if I had stabbed him, he would be gone and I'd be happy about it. And that's when we meet the third altar, who is pretty much like, no, she didn't do it, I did it, and he's lucky I missed. But I'm happy I missed because I don't want anything bad to happen to John. I don't want her in jail or prison, so this is all good, right? And pretty much what happens is you find out the dad used to molest her when she was younger. He apparently stopped and tried to get help. Pretty much his dad molested him, and his dad's uncle molested his dad, and it just was like a really bad family thing, and he feels bad about it, and he thought he had something to do with it. That's why he wanted her to get help, but the wife wouldn't listen to him. And obviously everybody is devastated now, because like it was just kind of like, what? Because pretty much the what is it called, the altar was like, you think you know everything that went on in your house and you didn't. And I was just like, no. Like, I thought it was gonna be the grandfather did something to her and then they just kept them away from them, but like, no, it was the dad. And like, I was just so blown, because like I really was empathizing with him that he lost his family for no reason, and like he was the only one who wanted her to have help, but the mom was like, my baby ain't crazy. And you just kind of feel sad for everybody in the situation, because they were about to get back together after not being together for 10 years, and like thinking, okay, our daughter's split is what caused our divorce, but it's like he's like he hasn't done that and he isn't going to do it, and the psychiatrist is like, you should probably seek help consistently because you could still like do it again, and now you have this young daughter who's about the same age. And then it just kind of made me feel icky because there was this whole scene the good old boys. So there was a point where John goes into a very compromising situation with a bunch of like, everybody's black, right? So she goes to a like all white juke joint in the south, in a very like, clearly black people are not allowed here, and she ends up sleeping with one of them. And that was just a bit much for me because I was like, girl, you was playing a dangerous game. Oh, Jesus, you know, gotta whatever. So that part stressed me out. It stressed me out. Zane, you stressed me out. So after that, what happened? Everything kind of blows up. She is dating her neighbor. It's going great. It's a them together is beautiful. And I just like, I felt bad because I did not want her with him because of all the stuff that she was going through. I wanted her to sort it out first so that like their relationship wasn't like a trauma bond, but like ended up being like beautiful anyway. And I was sad about the father because like it was giving good dad, but there was this one scene while she's visiting, he's like gives his daughter a bath, and that becomes like this really, I was like, it felt weird and almost suspicious, but I couldn't figure out why. So when it came out that he was like her abuser, it just made me like kind of sad. Like it made me like, you know, like he's been taking care of this child and bathing her and stuff, and apparently those were the times that he used to like molest John, was when she was doing bath time and in the shed. And it was just like really it really got to me, you know what I mean? So like I think that's why, now that I think about it, I did finish this the day before yesterday, but I needed a moment to like sit with it and like really just like sit with the story. And I think that just, it just hurt because it was like, I thought you were a good guy, and like maybe just her having splits was just a lot. But like, how could you do that to your own child, you know? And now you have another child, and it's like nobody can trust that. And so she's like, she's gonna tell her sister's mom, and like it's just kind of sad. And I think it only sort of like, the revelation only sort of ruined it for me because it was just like her and the guy she's dating the first time was in the bathtub, and I couldn't help but think about how that happened to her, and she just couldn't remember. But like it ends with a happy ever after. Like the guy wants to marry her, but the psychiatrist tells him he should wait until she's like together. They're having a really good healthy relationship. She's healthy sexually, not as promiscuous, and like life is good. She's still working her job even though like her coworker obviously hates her. And she's like, she's stronger, so like she develops and she's like a stronger person. And her development, John's development as a character is really strong. Like it shifts. It's not like rapid. She's all of a sudden just great. Like it happens over time. Jude is like upset, and she's like, I knew I was justified because Jude didn't know about the molestation. Only the Jetta one did, and apparently she was what was keeping Jude from taking over John's life. And the psychiatrist was kind of like, she wants to meet with all of them. And by the end of the book, John is almost integrated with all her personalities. Yeah, and it's just, it was a lot. It was a tough book. In the roller coaster, specifically towards the end, it was just like stress. So I would recommend it if like you're not bothered by child assaults and stuff, because it is minor. Like it's not a big plot point, but I don't think I realized that I can't even do the minor, and so I should have just like listened to Storygraph and probably have like not read it because I think like it ruined my experience, if I'm being honest. But like the book itself was good. Like it's a fun it's a fun read because it's just wow. You just like, and she did what? And she did what? Like it just, it's kind of like that. So yeah, I was gonna talk more, but I'm just like, bro, I was just mostly stuck. Like, it felt like body horror personally. Because, like, she couldn't get rid of her. And I was just like, one, Jude hates men. And, like, when you get to the end, you kind of understand why she hates men. Like, her dad touched her. But, like, oh my god, it's like, why are you doing this to John though? Like, this doesn't really protect her. It's just like crazy. And she kind of like hates men, and with women she seems to be 50-50. There's women she like and there's women she don't like. She don't particularly care for kids because she feels like they're, or I guess I don't know if that's how she feels, but to me it felt like Jude just kind of felt like they were helpless, and she didn't like that, and she didn't like how parents parent. But like, overall, it was an interesting read. So that's my review on Nervous by Zane. I have to figure out what more. I should have took better notes, but it was just like a ride. I think like next time I'm gonna like bookmark the pages that I want to talk about, because like there were specific pages and like things that Jude says and does that just has you like, what? Because Jude has the sex addiction, but John does not. And I just could not imagine something living inside of me, being part of me, like running my life, me having days where I black out and everything, and they're doing things completely against my character and I can't do anything about it. Like, that was terrifying, okay? But we got through it, and we all got through it together. So John gets her happy ending. Technically the splits get their happy endings too, because they don't really have to like exist anymore. Like, they wanted to exist, but yeah. And I'm like, I will say it's interesting because like in the end, John is like, she says goodbye to her father, which like was emotional because like her mom had a rule about saying goodbye because she felt like goodbyes really meant goodbye. So when she says goodbye to him, you know that they're probably never going to see each other again. But she's kind of like, her dad isn't a criminal, he has an illness, and I think because he said that he never did anything to Flower and it seems like she was fine, John is like, she's going to be strong for her little sister. So that was that. That was Nervous by Zane, and I know most of that was just a recap, but I really hated the split. Like, specifically Jude. Like, everybody else I loved. Well, I didn't love the dad once, you know, we got to the end. But, like, other than that, I loved everybody. Even though the mom was self-centered, like, I think, like, she had some redeemable traits. But overall, the premise was interesting. Like, you have a split and they're living life in a very more risque way than you, and you find somebody that you actually like and enjoy, and now you really have to deal with this situation. So that's that. I'm about to go read another book and I'm out. If you enjoyed this book review, please like, comment. If there is a different way you want me to do the review, let me know. Comment. If you read this book, let me know what you thought about it. I have mixed emotions and mixed feelings about it overall, but it's cool. And yeah, I'm out. Bye.